finished few of the examples in this set. There are few more remaining. We'll try and finish them all today. So we covered up until this example, the last session. We will go through the next sessions from next examples in this session. And so these are again the use cases where we can where we use LODs on a practical basis, like whenever we get to build dashboards and scenarios where we practically use. So it might be simple, but yeah, I thought it be helpful for us to be aware of these use cases. Okay. So the next example in our set is finding occurrences of a measure. So let me explain what I mean by this. For example, let's say yeah, we have something like this. Yeah, we have each order. Okay, we have different order IDs and the each sales related to each of those orders, and we want to see hey, how many I can let's say what are the orders, or how many orders do I have above a certain threshold value, let's say 5,000 or 10,000, how many orders are there, and this particular number here we can see so it's already done. Let's see how it's done. Okay, go to the sheet and again so this table itself. So for each order ID, sum of sales, fixed level of calculation will always produce a similar table. So we'll make use of that fixed LOD expression to get to the number what we want. So let me open the other sheet just for us to explore the calculation. So what I have here was a simple calculation, just verifying the condition. So for example, if I write a simple conditional statement, it will work at the data source level, but I don't want that conditional statement to work at the data source level, but at the order ID level. So what I do was I just put this particular statement which will help me do that. So this will generate a table that we saw earlier, and on that table we are putting the conditional statement. So for each order ID, it will see if the sales is greater than the threshold that we have given, which is a parameter. It can be anything, and then it will just highlight group those order IDs in one group and the rest of them as another group. Okay, we have this conditional statement using LOD, and then what we just do is, since we have grouped all the ones which are above threshold as one, I can simply put the sum. Okay, sum orders that will give me the occurrences of one. So if it's saying currently 27, right? That means there are 27 of the order IDs which are above my order threshold value, which is currently $5,000. Thereby, I can get basically okay, $5,000. Yeah, so from here and above, so everything you can see, everything above is true. So I'm just counting all of them, and they are 27. It's a very simple use case, but I just wanted to let you. Yeah, and since these are like little basic ones, what I'll do is I'll keep going. If you have any questions, just interrupt me in between so we can discuss. We'll move on to the next one. This is a very interesting use case. Okay. So I have a, if you see, I have a view where I'm have only 3 subcategories and viewing their sales across months. Okay, for each month. Now, the problem is, see, I have colored each of these bars with the sum of sales. Okay, sum of sales. Now, if you see the let's say the client is interested in seeing, hey, I don't want to compare each of these subcategories with other subcategories. Okay, I only want to compare that particular sales bars, whatever the bars in that particular category alone, subcategory alone. So what's currently happening here was, if you see of all the bars that we have on the screen, this one and this one is the highest and the top one and two, right? Now my color is being skewed by these one and two in my some other subcategory appliances. Because of these two things, what's happening was all my distinction of the color that is provided in this category is lost. Okay, what, let's say what we'd be interested in, hey, I know my appliances, my general sales are low when compared to other categories, but I want to color these appliances bars with the highest in the appliances and the lowest in the appliances. I don't want to mix up with, you understood the point, right? So
Yeah.
how do we get that? So we can use LODs. So the logic here is basically you create a calculation for the color. Okay, you create a what we say, a proxy calculation for sales. Okay, uh, which will take into account only the highest and the least in each of the subcategories. And since my view at that to do that, to perform that calculation at the subcategory level, I need to use LODs. Let's see what that is. So this is my final view. Okay, this is how my view should look like. So if you see, my this color distinction has gone up in each of the subcategories. Let's see how I did that. So if you see here, I use the proxy calculation in the color, and let's see how the calculation goes. Okay, is the font big enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's first come. So whenever you see some big nested LOD, something like this, it's better to come from the innermost LOD. So you will work your way up on the innermost table. So if you see, this is our innermost LOD expression that we have. Okay, what it's doing. So for each subcategory, and for each month. Okay, for each month, give me sum of sales. So it's basically a table for each subcategory on every month level. It just gives me aggregated sales, and I'm taking maximum of that. Okay, at what level I'm taking for each subcategory. So basically for each subcategory, my result from here and till here, it would be, for each subcategory, give me the sales that maximum sales that occurred in any month. Okay, that would be the result of this particular subcategory. And now I'm just using ATTR to aggregate for the purposes of aggregation. Okay, now I have this table, and I'm dividing, I'm getting this ratio, some sales divided by this. So what it's doing is, since my visualization is already at the month and subcategory level, my sum sales will be the value that holds in each of these bar. Okay, and I'm dividing that with the maximum value in that pane only. So for example, if this particular bar is divided by maximum value in this appliances subcategory, let's say this one is the maximum, it's divided by that alone. Here it's divided by maximum of this alone. You understood, right? Now what happens here is, so when the maximum is divided, let's say here we are on maximum bar itself, then it will be given 1 because we are dividing maximum by maximum. That will be 1. And let's say we are at the second the range. So basically we are getting a normalized distribution. So irrespective of the subcategories, we are getting this particular field will give us value from 0 to 1 based on where that particular bar is ranked in that particular subcategory. You understood the logic, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Jagdish, one question.
Yes.
Can't we do a percentage of total and table across, so that way it won't take complete table?
Percentage of total table across, you can do that, and you can put it in color. And as I told, just we are trying table calculations we can do, but we are just trying to see how we can arrive at the same using LODs.
Okay.
as I said many times earlier, there will be multiple ways we can arrive at a certain task. Okay, but
I just
here,
want to confirm that.
yeah, I got the you understood. Okay, great question. Okay, and then I'll just put that in color, and the coloring will be according. Right. What else we have next? And okay, this is a pretty straightforward one, but let's see what it is. Okay, here I'm in the sample superstore data, which is data for only one country, US, and have a visualization that shows for each state. Okay, the average sales. Oh, let me go to the sheet. So average sales. So this is just basically some sales divided by number of records in each of the state. Then I have a national average sales. I just want to basically a comparison. Okay, how my state's average is for comparing with my national average. So for that performance, I just have to create a I already got my average sales. I just have to create this particular field. Can anyone guess what is how I can arrive at this particular value? National average sales. My visualization is at the state level. But
what is the above the state is the country level?
Yes.
So we can fix at country level.
Okay.
And then we can just do a average, sum of average.
Sum of average.
Average of some sales.
Okay. Okay. It's the logic is same. Let me open that.
It's below sales max.
Yes. It's just the average sales. So we don't have to like give the sum. What it'll do is basically it will take for each and every for the entire country level. Yeah, that's it. And you can just create another calculation which is basically the difference from this field and this field that will give you this one. We already saw similar examples, so we'll move to the next one. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Okay, let's say I have no, just trying to explain the case here. I have a product staples and all the different dates where this particular product has been ordered. Okay, and for each day how many quantity of that product has been ordered. Let's say I want to know, hey, I know all these things, but I want to know when a certain when this particular product has been ordered more than a certain threshold. Let's say I want to see, okay, given all these numbers, hey, when staples has been ordered more than 10 times, more than 10 quantity on a certain day. Okay, I want to get that date. So how we can get that? Any idea? Just the logic. Don't expect the code.
We can fix a product name, order date, then we can write the condition if quantity greater than threshold, then true, or maybe then
okay.
Can use it.
Okay, I got the logic. Yeah, it works on a similar basis. Let's go to the, so it's something like this. So this is the 13. So if my order has to be greater, first purchase over 10, that means this is the only where I can see this is the date where my order quantity is exceeded 10 for the first time. So that would be my answer for all the that would be my answer. So let me see how we can get there. So yeah, it's on the same logic. So basically I know my calculation should occur at a product name, so fix it calculation, and I need to get the minimum date, because when the first occurrence happened, so because of that my aggregation minimum, and on what I should do minimum, only on, not on all dates, so only on the dates where my quantity exceeded certain value. Okay, so here I incorporated that, hey, give me, if quantity is greater than that, give me order date. So this will give me a separate field. On that field I'm just aggregating at the product name to give us the result what we want. Okay, then let's move to the next one. Okay, so here I have a simple view that says basically for each customer I'm interested in knowing who are all the customers who have purchased from only single category. Okay, so I know this can easily be achieved. Hey, I put my customer and count string of customer in my text, and it will give me all the values, and I can just put the filter to show it only for all the where the count string is only one. Thereby I'll get all the customers who have purchased from only one category. This is pretty straightforward. Now let's say we want a number of these customers. Okay, so number of customers who have purchased from only one category. Any idea how we can get there from this view?
Like similar, we can write a condition if count distinct categories equal to 1, then customer name at a level of category maybe.
Okay.
Not category.
Okay, understood. I got the logic. Let's see how it. So here in the previous example, we did so the condition was inside LOD. Here the LOD itself becomes the condition. So what we are interested in is getting something like this. So here we have 21 customers. We want to get some number like this. So to do, instead of displaying all this text, we can just show the summary value. So how do we get that? This is on the same logic that we earlier used here. So this 1 and 0. So what I had here was fixed customer name count distinct category equal to 1. So this will give me the table that we had earlier. Okay, and then if this meets this condition, any then just put 1 there if that particular customer. If not, then 0. Then what I'll do is I'll just do sum of that. So wherever the condition is met for that particular thing, so it will be 1. Therefore, on doing the sum, it will give me number of customers who have met the criteria. And one thing you need to understand here was, here we are doing this if condition. We think normally it's working at the data source level, but it's not. Okay, the same customer can buy multiple times, right? So in that case, if it's working at the data source level, then the same customer can have multiple ones, and thereby he can be represented when we are doing sum. He can be represented as multiple customers, but we don't want that. That's why here this calculation is working at a table which is on a customer level. So each row is a customer. Thereby we are getting this sum to give us the number what we are intended. Okay, hoping it's clear, and let's move to the next one. Now this is also interesting. Okay, so here I have a simple bar chart just for the explanation case. What I have here is, I have oftentimes it happens where you have to put in a field in a filter which has multiple values. Okay, Here we have like 12, but oftentimes it may exceed hundreds as well. And in that case, we might want to show the client, hey, what is the number, okay, here of categories or the dimension which like how many products or categories we have selected to get that number, how we can get that number. It's a simple logic, but practical use case. So let me explain how it's done. We don't necessarily have to have this view. This view is just for the explanatory purposes. The logic is only in the calculation. So I have a filter, okay, and I put that main catch here is to put it in context filter, because we are using LODs, and my LODs will always be calculated before dimension filter, but after context filter. So if my filter should affect my LOD, then I should make sure the filter is in context. Number one. Number two, my calculation. What is the calculation?
Filter selection count.
Yeah. So a simple logic. So on the overall level, give me count listing of subcategory. Okay. So since at the overall level, because there is no particular level where I want my calculation to, I want my calculation to perform at the entire level, so I don't specify any dimension after fixed, and it will take into account this calculation will work after my subcategory. So if I change my filter over here, let's say currently there are 15, if I remove this, likewise my number will change. Okay, and this one is also a little odd, but just for the knowledge purposes we'll explain. Here I have a rank, okay. Normally to get the rank I will go for table calculations, which is straightforward and simple way, but we can also use LODs to get to ranks, but this method is not recommended. This is just for the idea purposes, to knowledge purposes, okay. And this method will only work in small tables like this, not where it is highly like number of rows and etc. Maybe till less than 10 should be, not even 10, like less than 5 to 6 rows should be ideal for LODs. Ranks, okay. What I created is simple, some hard-coded rank, right? Yeah, hard-coded LOD expression that will give me rank. Let's just focus on the first part here, okay. If sum of sales is equal to this expression, what is my expression here? Fixed maximum of segment level sales. So for each segment I already got sales and I took maximum of it, okay. And at the overall level, if my sales okay, and I'm taking maximum of that and comparing okay. Okay, basically this will give me a field, and I'm taking okay, another fixed, a single value. This will give me a single value, which is basically maximum of these three values, because I'm calculation on this table alone. So it will give me a maximum of this value. I were just checking my sum of sales will work at the visualization level of detail. So if this sum of sales will hold values, these three values, okay. I'm just checking if one of these values, if it's equal to maximum of these three values, give me a rank as 1, obviously. And then if it's on the similar logic, I'm just extracting minimum here, okay. If it's a minimum, this one, then give me rank 3, and then if it's not 1 or 3, then it has to be in between. So it's again not a recommended way, just for
I have a doubt.
Yes.
Here the sum of sales won't it be the sum of all the three? We are comparing it with some sales.
No. See, here we are only giving the aggregation, but how will Tableau know at what level it should aggregate this sum of sales? If we don't, if we don't specify any level, by default Tableau will do that aggregation at the level of detail of the visualization. So thereby the sum of sales represents these values. If my visualization changes, if I go from let's say segment, if I remove segment and put subcategory, which will have then my sum of sales will work at that level. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I got it. I was just asking whether won't the sum of sales would be the sum of all the three sales? Or
no,
it would be segregated by segment.
It would be segregated by segment. It will not be sum of all the three. When you put the total function here, which we discussed using this function, then that will give you the sum of all the three. Got it, huh?
Yeah.
This is not the combined sales of all these three, but just the singular sales. Okay, and I suggest no one go with this approach. This is not a.
Also, in this we can have at the max 3, right? We can't go for 4 or 5 if we have.
You can have 4 or 5, but it'll just make the code even very lengthy and like nested conditions and all this we have to do.
So we can get second max as well. Okay.
Yeah, you can use some other functions like rank and all. Okay, that will again put us in table calculation. Yeah, I think 3 only. So it's not a recommended approach. Just for the knowledge purposes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the last one. I'll close it in another 2-3 minutes. So this is normally the use case. Oftentimes, like we may want to use pie chart is a to show some visualization and all. Okay, but the challenges using pie chart is we cannot use it in the cases where you have all the like more than 4 to 5 different categories. Okay, if you use that, like this will be the case, and no one can make a proper sense of it. So what we can do here is actually just give me a second, please. Was if you can see when I'm selecting the categories over here, only those categories were shown in the color, and rest of them all where I'm not selected, they have put in one big bucket. So wherever the categories which the client is interested in, he can select them and he can see the comparison of that particular subcategory, those categories, subcategories on the total. So without giving like lot of something like this, we can make it some sort of neat way to give the pie chart analysis. Okay, and how we can get there? Let's see. Okay, the use case is clear, right, for everyone?
Yeah.
So there are so couple of calculations that we need to do. Okay, and the steps that we have to do before achieving this. First thing that I need to do is, whatever my data source it's there, I need to union the data source. Okay, if you see here, the data source is union orders. That means let me are you guys able to see my Excel screen? Yeah. Okay, if you see here, this is the same data source on which the pie chart is built. If you see here my table name, I have two orders and orders one, which is basically same copy of each other. I have unioned them. So if I have 100 rows, I've essentially after unioning I'll get same 100 rows duplicated, so total 200 rows. Okay, this is step one. After that, what I need to do is I need to create a new field, which is basically my subcategory new. Okay, let me open the calculation how I should do that. So based on my table, okay, if my table is orders, okay, which is basically the original table, let's assume, then give me subcategory. If my table is orders one, which is the union table, then give me just the subcategory other, irrespective of what the subcategory it is there. So now that will create a field subcategory new for all the subcategories, for all the rows from the orders table. It will hold the subcategory value. If not, if it's from the orders one table, it will hold just the other category. Now after that, what I need to do here is I need to get the total sum of sales. Okay, total sum of sales. Now whenever we union same data sources, it's important for us to be a little careful here in getting the sum of sales. I know I need to perform at a overall level. Overall give me sum of sales, and I'm dividing by 2 because I just duplicated the same data source again. So I divide by 2 to give me the right number. Step number 2. After that, what I'll do is I'll just create this one particular field that says sales adjusted. Let's understand the calculation and I'll explain the logic a little later. Okay, what I have here is, if my subcategory new, which is the field that I created, is other, that means for all the fields that are coming from, all the rows that are coming from the orders one table, it will be other. Okay, wherever that's condition is meeting, just give me maximum sales, maximum of total sales, basically the one that we got, minus sum of sales. Okay, and then if it is not belonging to other category, then give me just the sum of sales. Okay, the calculation is this, but let me explain the logic here. I know I have to use my subcategory as a filter here. Now when I put subcategory as a filter here and I'm removing some subcategories and adding some categories, irrespective of which table it is coming from, either orders or orders one, they will all be gone. If I'm removing copy art, okay, subcategory from both orders table and from orders one table, art will be disappeared in that case. But I don't, for this purpose, like to get the value of art as well in the orders value, I don't want that effect to be I don't want that removal of that subcategory to affect this visualization. So for that purpose, what the logic we just did was, I got the total sales amount. The logic is this: let's say there is total sales amount is 100, okay, and I removed appliances subcategory. Let's say it's worth of 15. Okay, now I know what is my rest of it, right? If I remove appliances, my rest of the sales is 85, just by a simple subtraction from the total value. So because of that subtraction, that complement effect, I'm able to get this other category. Okay, it's clear, right? Logic. If we now go through the calculation once again, that's what we are doing here. Whenever it's belonging to other subcategory, just give me the complement of the sales, because that will be filtered out. If it is not, then give me sum of sales. Thereby, and I will put that my sales adjusted into angle and my subcategory new into color. Thereby I'm getting this other one. If I put subcategory into color, then my other will not be there. It will be again something like this. Okay, let me
Jagdish, is it
It will be
possible to achieve the same by sets, using sets? Will that
Yes.
be possible or possible? Okay.
Sets we can do that. What you can basically do is you can provide there are multiple ways dynamics you can use to get there. One majorly used one was I don't know at a subcategory level how for this particular use case, but normally in pie charts how sets are used is for drill down effect.
Okay.
That we already saw, right?
Yeah.
At a category level, and once you hover on a particular category only the subcategories in that category will be shown.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Yeah, but I'm not sure if sets can be particularly useful in this particular example that we saw, but I'll look into it and I'll come back next time. Okay.